What happens when a late-night talk show host pushes a Hollywood icon too far? When good manners get tossed out for cheap laughs and big ratings? Tonight, we're diving into one of the wildest moments in late-night TV history, a clash that shocked viewers and showed a side of Arnold Schwarzenegger you don't see every day. Before we jump into this crazy story, hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments, what do you think about stars walking out of interviews? Now, let's get into what really happened. The Tonight Show stage was alive with energy as Arnold Schwarzenegger walked to the guest chair. The Austrian oak, now in his 70s but still owning every room, was there to talk about his new documentary on climate change activism. The crowd went wild with applause as he sat down across from Jimmy Kimmel, who flashed that familiar grin his fans know well, a part charm, part sly jab. Arnold Schwarzenegger, everybody, Kimmel called out, his voice mixing excitement with a hint of mockery. The Terminator himself, here to save the planet. That's so California, Arnold. Arnold's smile was real as he waved to the crowd. Thanks, Jimmy. It's great to be here. I care a lot about the environment. This affects us all. Yeah, Kimmel said, flipping through his note cards with a big show. But before we get to that serious stuff, let's talk about something else people are buzzing about. There's been chatter about your past, some old stories floating around. You know how the internet works. Arnold's face changed, his warm eyes cooling just a bit. Jimmy, I came here to talk about the documentary and the big work we're doing on climate change. Kimmel brushed it off with a wave. Oh, we'll get to that, Arnold. But come on, you're a big star. People want to know the real you, not just the cleaned-up version your team puts out. The audience sensed the shift, their cheers fading as tension crept in. Arnold leaned forward, his huge frame making the chair look tiny. What are you trying to say, Jimmy? Kimmel's grin got sharper, almost mean. Well, there's been talk, some claims about your past stuff from movie sets, your days as governor. Don't you think your fans deserve to hear your side? Arnold's voice got firm, his Austrian accent stronger, a sign he was getting serious. I came here honestly to talk about the environment. I didn't come for an ambush with rumors and gossip. Ambush? Kimmel laughed. But it wasn't friendly. Arnold, this is a talk show. We talk about tough stuff sometimes, so that's what makes good TV. The cameras zoomed in, catching every look, every move. Arnold's jaw tightened, his famous calm starting to crack. Good TV, he said slowly. Is that all this is, Jimmy? Ratings? Kimmel leaned back, clearly enjoying himself. Everything's about ratings, Arnold. You've been in this business long enough to know that. But really, don't you think people deserve some truth, some accountability? Accountability, Arnold said, his voice low, his hands gripping the chair. You want to talk about accountability, Jimmy? How about a host who invites someone on his show with fake promises? Kimmel's eyebrows shot up, acting surprised. Fake promises? Arnold, I never said we wouldn't talk about your past. It's part of you. Arnold's voice got louder, not yelling yet but close. You told my team this was about the documentary about saving the planet. Instead, you're playing tabloid games. The audience went silent, feeling something real was happening. This wasn't the usual fun back and forth. This was raw, unscripted drama. Kimmel's tone got sharper, dropping any hint of friendliness. Look, Arnold, you can't pick what people know about you. You've been famous for years. You've made mistakes, so people have a right to hear about them. Mistakes? Arnold's voice was a low growl. You call years of public service, of trying to make a difference, mistakes? That's not what I'm talking about, and you know it. Kimmel snapped. I'm talking about the personal stuff you want everyone to forget. Arnold stood slowly, his 6'2" frame rising like a giant from the chair. The crowd gasped. I think, he said, his voice cutting through the quiet, this interview is over. Kimmel raised his hands, still sitting, pretending to be calm. Whoa, Arnold, sit down. We're just getting started. But Arnold stood firm, towering over the desk, his presence filling the whole stage. "No, Jimmy, we're done. This isn't what I signed up for." Kimmel's tone turned mocking, a risky move. "What's this? The big, tough Terminator can't take a few questions? What happened to 'I'll be back'? You're really gonna walk off like some drama queen?" The word drama queen hit hard. Arnold's eyes flashed with something fierce, a reminder of the action hero who didn't take disrespect. "Drama queen," he said, his voice so quiet it echoed in the silent studio. "You think this is about my ego, Jimmy? You think I can't take criticism?" Kimmel, sensing he'd hit a nerve, pushed harder. "Isn't it? You're throwing a fit on live TV because I asked hard questions." "Hard questions?" Arnold's laugh was cold, no humor in it. "Jimmy, you haven't asked one real question tonight. You've just thrown out hints and gossip." Kimmel leaned forward, his face serious but still aggressive. "Arnold, you've been in movies, in politics. You know how this works. Stories come out, and you have to face them." "Face what?" Arnold demanded. "You haven't said one clear thing. You're hiding behind vague talk like a bully too scared to say what he means." The insult hit hard. Kimmel's face turned red, his smug look fading to real anger. "Scared?" he said, standing now, though he still had to look up at Arnold. "I'm not the one running from questions, big guy." "Running?" Arnold's voice rose again. "I'm not running from anything. I'm refusing to play along with this attack you call an interview." Kimmel laughed, a sharp, brittle sound. "Attack?" "Arnold, I'm just asking you to be honest with your fans, to talk about what people have said about you." "What people?" Arnold's patience broke, his voice booming. "Say it, Jimmy. If you've got something to accuse me of, say it." "Stop hiding behind whispers." The challenge hung in the air. The audience was locked in, phones out, recording what was becoming a legendary TV moment. Kimmel, realizing he'd gone too far, doubled down instead of backing off. "Fine," he said. "Let's talk about the women on your movie sets. Let's talk about stories from your governor days. Let's talk about the patterns people have been whispering about for years." "Whispering?" Arnold repeated, his voice low and dangerous. "Gossip, rumors. That's your journalism, Jimmy." "It's not gossip when lots of people say the same thing," Kimmel fired back. "It's not rumors when there's a pattern." "A pattern?" Arnold's voice roared across the studio. "You want to talk patterns? Let's talk about talk show hosts who ruin their name chasing cheap drama instead of real interviews." Kimmel laughed, but it sounded nervous, almost panicked. "My name, Arnold. I'm not the one with trust issues here." "No?" Arnold stepped closer to the desk, making security guards shift uneasily. "You invite me here with lies. You hit me with accusations you can't prove. You won't name one real source. And you think I'm the one with trust issues?" The crowd started to murmur, some uneasy, others hooked, as the fight grew hotter. Kimmel, missing the room's mood, kept going with a smug tone. "Arnold, I get it. You're used to being the big star, in charge. But this is my show, and we ask the questions that matter." "Questions that matter?" Arnold's voice was full of disbelief. "Jimmy, the planet is dying. Climate change is hurting people everywhere. These are real problems for real people, and you're wasting time on tabloid junk." "Oh, save the hero act," Kimmel said, waving a hand. "You're here to push your little documentary, right? Well, promotion means answering questions about who you are." "Little documentary?" Arnold's face darkened. "You just called work that could save lives a little documentary?" Kimmel, digging deeper, shrugged. "I'm just saying, let's keep it real. It's not like you're curing cancer." "That was it?" Arnold's fists clenched, his voice shaking with anger. "Not curing cancer, Jimmy? Do you know how many people die every year from pollution? Do you get that climate change is a real threat killing people right now?" Okay, Kimmel said, but his mocking tone stayed. "You're saving the world, very noble. But that doesn't mean you can skip tough questions about your past." "Tough questions?" Arnold roared. "Jimmy, You haven't asked one question tonight. You've thrown out accusations and wasted everyone's time with this sorry excuse for journalism. The studio was a powder keg, ready to blow. Arnold stood, breathing hard, his famous calm gone. The audience sat stunned, phones still recording what was now a historic moment. Kimmel, maybe seeing he'd gone too far, tried to take control. Arnold, maybe we started off wrong. Sit down, let's try again. Try again? Arnold's laugh was sharp and bitter. Jimmy, there's no trying again after this. You've shown who you really are tonight. Who I am? Kimmel's voice showed he was uneasy. Arnold, I'm just doing my job, asking what viewers want to know. No, Arnold cut in, his voice sharp as a knife. You're using your audience as an excuse for your cheap moves. The cameras caught every bit of the cozy raw, real, and unlike any late-night moment before. Cheap moves? Kimmel snapped, defensive. Everything I've said has been in the news. I'm not making stuff up. In the news where? Arnold demanded, stepping closer to the desk. Tabloids, gossip sites, people with grudges. Name one. Kimmel fumbled with his note cards, his confidence fading. Well, there've been lots of reports. Name one. Arnold pushed, not letting up. One real source, one clear accusation. Stop hiding behind vague talk and say something real. The silence dragged on, heavy and tense. Kimmel's face got redder as he saw he was trapped. Look, he said, sounding desperate, I don't have to prove anything to you, Arnold. The stories are out there. People can decide for themselves. Ah, Arnold said, a cold smile crossing his face. Now we see the truth. You've got no proof, no sources, just gossip and rumors. You thought you could use me to make your trash look real. That's not what this is, Kimmel said, his voice weak. Then what is it, Jimmy? Arnold's tone was pure disgust. What were you trying to do here tonight? Kimmel, feeling the crowd turn against him, tried to shift gears. I'm trying to have a real talk, he said, but it didn't sound convincing. Real? Arnold's voice boomed again. Jimmy, nothing about this has been real. You lied to get me here. You hit me with accusations you can't back up. You've wasted everyone's time, including your audience's, with this circus. The crowd got louder, some cheering Arnold, others grumbling at Kimmel's tactics. The host was losing his own show. Arnold, please, Kimmel said, almost begging now. Sit down, let's talk about your documentary. That's why you're here, right? Arnold stared at him, his eyes cold. Jimmy, you had your chance to talk about the documentary, about real issues that matter. Instead, you chose this tabloid attack. He turned, walking toward the stage's edge with purpose. Arnold, wait. Kimmel called, panic clear in his voice. Don't leave like this. We can fix this. Arnold stopped, turning back, his eyes burning. Fix this? He said, his voice ringing out. Jimmy, you can't fix what you've done here. You've shown everyone who you really are. And who am I? Kimmel asked, regretting it instantly. Arnold's smile was cold and final. You're a small man, Jimmy. A small man who thinks cutting others down makes him bigger. You're everything wrong with media today. The words hit Kimmel hard. He stood, mouth open, as Arnold kept going. You've got no integrity, no honor, no respect for your guests or your audience. You're a leech living off drama because you're too lazy to make real content. The audience was quiet, hanging on Arnold's every word as he tore into the host. You want to know what accountability is, Jimmy? He went on. It's admitting when you're wrong. It's treating guests with basic respect. It's doing your job with honesty, not hiding behind cheap shots and tabloid games. Kimmel stood silent as Arnold landed the final hit. You'll never have me on this show again, Jimmy. And I'll make sure everyone in this business knows exactly what kind of person you are. With that, Arnold turned and walked off, his steps echoing in the stunned silence. The cameras followed as he vanished behind the curtain, leaving Kimmel alone at his desk, pale and shaky. The audience didn't know what to do. Some clapped for Arnold, others sat shocked, and a few looked at Kimmel with disappointment. Kimmel cleared his throat, forcing a weak smile. Well, he mumbled, We'll be back after this break. But as the lights dimmed and cameras cut, everyone knew this wasn't just a bad moment. This was a total breakdown of trust between host and guest. Backstage was a mess. Arnold's team swarmed around him, but he moved through them with the same fire that carried him off stage. He didn't look back, didn't stop for the reporters shouting for a comment. As he vanished into the night, the show's producers scrambled to deal with what had become one of the biggest moments in late-night TV history. The clip would be replayed countless times, picked apart by fans and critics. But in that studio, there was only silence, broken by the echo of Arnold's last words, so a reminder that even in Hollywood, some lines shouldn't be crossed. What did you think of this wild clash? Have you ever seen a star take down a talk show host like that? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Arnold right to walk off, or did he go too far? Hit subscribe for more crazy celebrity moments, and I'll see you in the next one.